being here today and say that I've read your written testimony and am very pleased to have a lot of the information that you've provided there. I regret to say that the title of this hearing could not be more fitting. Rather than work with Congress to fix our student loan system, this administration is intentionally attempting to break it, regardless of who's harmed along the way. The now 3-year repayment pause has meant that over 40 million borrowers have been completely disconnected from the loan system, while servicers have been forced to cut their staffs by hundreds of employees because the administration continues to play political games with people's lives. And now we hear that because the Ed has decided to throw around taxpayer dollars like monopoly money to please their progressive base, they'll need to reduce resources even further, which will inevitably mean more staffing cuts. Dr. Salerno, as both an economist and someone who has worked on the ground with servicers, what will be the implications of these layoffs for the millions of borrowers who are expected to resume repayment in just a few short months?
Chairwoman Foxx, thank you for the question. I think anytime you remove resources that are designed to assist borrowers, you create an environment that will adversely affect those borrowers. Right now, layoffs in the servicing industry, reductions in staff force in the industry either means servicers who still are there are going to have to work longer hours, they are going to be stretched thin, that means fewer opportunities to engage with struggling borrowers. In the end, I think these things all collectively work together to limit borrowers' access to good information and to make timely decisions. That's going to translate into difficulties getting back into successful repayment. And so in all likelihood, we will probably see more delinquencies and eventually more defaults as a result of stretching thin the resources that borrowers need to succeed.
Thank you. Dr. Looney, I thought there was bipartisan consensus that tuition should be lower, the quality of education should be higher, and students should not be forced to borrow excessively to obtain a college degree. Yet you and countless other experts have concluded that the administration's income-driven repayment proposal would achieve the very opposite. If finalized in its current form, what will this plan mean for college costs, student borrowing, and the higher education marketplace?
Chairwoman Foxx, thanks for that question. Well, it's clear under the proposed IDR rules that many, if not most borrowers, will repay only a fraction of the amounts that they borrow. And so what that means is that students will want to borrow more. They'll want to pay for tuition by borrowing rather than out of pocket or other ways. They'll be less sensitive to the cost of the institutions they attend because they won't have to pay for them. And so they'll borrow more. You know, the CBO says that the increase in borrowing might be $100 billion over the next decade. Likewise, it will encourage institutions to raise their tuitions, knowing that some of those costs will be shifted onto taxpayers rather than borne by the students themselves. And furthermore, that proposal subverts important elements of our accountability system that are effective in at least screening out the worst actors and institutions through the cohort default rate rules. And so, you know, our experience with when we weaken accountability rules is that students borrow more, they attend lower quality institutions, and student outcomes get worse.
Thank you very much. Mr. Goldwine, has there ever been an executive action or regulation costing as much as the administration's IDR and debt relief proposals?
The debt relief alone is $400 billion. I'm not aware of any executive order that cost even half that much.
Thank you. What do you recommend Congress and the administration consider with this in mind as we approach the debt limit in just a few short months?
Well, first, thank you for the question, Chairwoman Foxx. First of all, we need to raise the debt limit no matter what. We can't play chicken with the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. But we should withdraw, the administration should withdraw both the IDR rule and debt cancellation and encourage the subcommittee to work on a new, more comprehensive reform.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.